body bags where horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And to finish up our theme week of cheap rip-off movies, well, that's unfair. That's unfair. It's movies that follow on from other movies. Let's just keep it like that. Well, the one I decided to go to was the 1999 movie Resurrection, which was whoa, excuse me, heavily influenced by a movie 4 years before that, Seven. So this is what's his name, Neil Mulcahy, the director. Oh, let's have a look. I should have checked this properly before. Russell Mulcahy. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And we have Christopher Lambert. He's our main detective in this. And actually, his partner is someone who has a small part in Seven. I've got David Cronenberg in this as well, actually, as a priest. But anyway, yeah, we have a detective, two detectives, a whole police force trying to track down a serial killer. So we find this guy who's been killed and he's lost an arm. And then there's all these strange clues on his body, sort of thing. And then, so they're following up on these clues and these whereabouts, and they're led to this second body that has another arm missing. And then they dig in further into it. But for these markings, they've got these Roman numerals, and they realise that it's verses and chapters from the Bible, and these are biblical names, apostles. The names of apostles, and they find another one. They actually interrupt the killer, and he's actually taking another leg. And so, yeah, they're trying to track down this killer. They're not quite sure what his themes are. But I don't want to give too much away on this one, because it kind of follows a theme of Seven, where it's kind of maybe around some halfway point or something within the movie, you actually find out who the killer is, kind of like in Seven. And it's interesting how they do that. Like it's done in a slightly different way, and it's like a bit of a twist, kind of what happens. But it works really well. This whole movie works really well. Like the visual aesthetics is very, very Seven. Even some of like how the editing is. I don't know why I'm coughing so much. I was going to say it's B movie 7, but that's really unfair. This is a good movie. It's really, really is good. I don't think it would be as it is without 7. It really borrows that much from it, but it's still a good, like, if someone watches a bit of this quickly, they're like, it's just a 7 ripoff. But I mean, it has its own story. Yeah, I mean, it's not following the 7 deadly sins. It has its own story and its own reasoning for the killer and things like that. But it's just, obviously, follows similar tropes and like similar similar pathways that like some situations that occur in the movie is like kind of reminiscent on what happens in 7. But like I said, it's a really enjoyable movie. I kind of stopped talking about it up to the halfway point because, like I said, I don't want to give kind of anything away because it becomes a bit of a spoiler, and it's maybe it's a spoiler already saying how it is. It's a bit of a 7 movie. That it's people cast their own aspersions on things, and it's like already now that has a hell of a lot to follow up on, to live up to. Like, oh, is it as good as 7? No, it's not as good as 7. It's like nothing is as good as 7. But Seven is an absolutely amazing. It's one of my all-time favourite movies. It's a fantastic piece of cinema. This is a really entertaining and pretty good piece of cinema. I remember first time I watched it, I think it was on GB or something like that. I made a comment in my letterbox. It was like, I need to pick this up in the next Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale, or halfway to Black Friday sale. Duly I did. And it is one of my favourite VS releases that I have. Yeah, like I said, it follows the aesthetic of Seven. It's got kind of like the character tropes and how they are. So if you're into Seven, like you should enjoy this movie. Yeah, and it has its own twists and turns, and it has its own interesting plot developments and things like that. And yeah, thoroughly entertained. And I really recommend picking this up. Pretty sure it's still available on the site. Well, as most of them are, it's like it tends to be that the slip sells out. To be honest, I don't know if it's still available with a slip or not, but it's a really nice release. The picture looks really good. Really, I mean, it's 99, so you wouldn't expect it to be like a really terrible picture in that. But it has some really good production value to it, and the gore really does look good, especially the third kill, because it's kind of it's almost like he gets there and interrupts the killer at a point. And it looks really cool, and like the ending as well. It's like the lead up to that, and the kind of the discovery of what you see. It's like it looks really cool. Yeah, everything about this. It's like I said, it's very dark. It's raining all the time, so yeah. I'd recommend this. Very fun watch. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.